right, welcome back to the IMNerd podcast. I'm your host, Frazier. I'm here with my co-host, Kenny.
Yo, yo.
And we have a couple of things on the docket today. So currently it is the day before Inauguration Day, where Trump will become the...
Oh my God, is it?
Yes, he'll become the president tomorrow, which is also Martin Luther King's Day. So it's going to be a full-on rant tomorrow. But that's coming.
Shit.
Yeah, tomorrow's a big day in terms of the United States.
Officially, Trump is the president tomorrow. Biden's like out of office?
Yes, today is Biden's last day as the president of the United States.
I guess when you guys are listening to this,
it will already
like
have
yesterday.
Yeah, it'll already have come to pass. But yeah, so tomorrow, so we're recording this on Sunday, but tomorrow is Inauguration Day and all that good stuff. We're not really talking about that anyway. We don't actually care too much about that. Like, it is what it is.
I didn't even know what's happening tomorrow.
See,
so.
I wish I was more like Kenny, where I was just not in the know of every little thing that goes on in this country. But we're really here to talk about other things that have happened during this particular week, where the Switch 2 finally got revealed. There have been a lot of leaks for the last almost year now, including like the Pokemon leaks.
That's
and
the
stuff.
only reason why this happened, by the way.
I know. Yeah, it definitely
the only
is.
reason why, because like you can tell, because it wasn't a trailer. It was just like okay, here it is. Like, look at it. You know what I mean? Like, it didn't really do anything else except just show us what it is. And I think
100%.
the only reason why is because like all of this has been leaked by now. So they're like, all right, we got to get something out. I also think there's one other reason. And Frazier, you're more familiar with this than I am.
Okay.
I think the other reason why they did this teaser was to officially announce when the full trailer would come out.
Yes.
And that full trailer is in April. And that's right around the fiscal end of 2024.
Yep.
And so I think they want to set up their fiscal 2025, let people know, hey, the Switch 2 is coming, invest, blah, blah, blah. And they want to set up their fiscal years in the right way.
No, that's definitely valid. Everyone knows, especially in the United States, like April 15th is the tax deadline. So it does make sense that they want to get things rolling after all of that stuff is out of the way. But I think more importantly, we're going to get that April date, which is enough time for them to announce the real date that the system itself is being released for Christmas. So we don't have a release date of when the Switch 2 is coming out. A lot of people misinterpreted the trailer preview thing that they did. That's like 2 minutes and 22 seconds, which I thought was brilliant. I love little details like that. The YouTube video is exactly 2 minutes and 22 seconds on the dot. Just stuff like that. You go to extra step. It just makes people think more about how thoughtful Nintendo is as a company when they're doing things. But I totally agree. I don't think they wanted to put this out until they were ready. I think the Nintendo Direct was supposed to be like the big surprise moment, but people were so impatient. The internet has become a very toxic place, and I've seen a lot of people giving Nintendo shit for the last, like, honestly, 2 years or more about the Switch and how it's like it needs to be updated. The OLED wasn't it, you know. It's behind the next generation consoles, the PS5. I don't even know what Xbox is called now. What's the Xbox currently?
I think it's called the Xbox Series X.
Okay. I stopped remembering which Xbox they were on when the 360 went away. Like, after 360, I just kind of forgot.
Yeah, well, because they went Xbox 360, and then they went Xbox One.
See, that would confuse me. That just confuses me.
Mean? So their third Xbox was called Xbox One. It was really dumb.
I don't know why it wouldn't be 360 to 720 or something.
And then it was like, I remember there was like an updated version, you know, like the PS Pro.
Yeah.
It was called like the Xbox One X. And it's like, bro, your naming conventions are horrible.
Their naming conventions are awful. It sounds like cell phones.
Like, PlayStation is just simple. They're PlayStation 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Like, boom, it is what it is. Nintendo, they were cool because they just like creatively came up with a different name to represent each generation. Now, granted, here they're just going like Switch 2, which I think is a good idea because it is just a direct upgrade for the Switch.
Right.
You don't got to confuse people. Like, a lot of people didn't know the Wii U was a new console. There was people that just thought the Wii U was like an add-on to the Wii. And
correct.
That
and
helped contribute to it not selling well.
Exactly what I was going to say. Yeah, that backfired on them. And so, you know, they've been learning from past experiences like all gaming companies do. I mean, the PlayStation, Sony made a terrible mistake with the PS3 when they said the price was going to be like $600 or some shit. And this is way back in the day too. So $600 then is really like $1,000 now. So basically they were saying in 2000 and I want to say 7 or 8 or whenever that shit was announced that they were going to have like this $600 console, which had never been heard of before. And there's nothing that it could do that would warrant that price tag. And it backfired on them. I mean, there was a bunch of smear campaigns that honestly, it didn't take much effort for people to make smear campaigns about the PS3 because it was rolled out in such a terrible way.
And every gaming that early model fucking lit on fire, bro. I'll never forget the early PS3 lit on. I was in my friend's house when one started smoking. It was bad. Like, it was fucking bad. Them things were rough.
Yeah, the early PS3, the Wii U, pretty big failures. There's some other gaming failures, like the Microsoft had a Zune, I think, which was like
my God.
It was supposed to be the anti-iPod and stuff like. I don't know if you guys remember this, but look up the Zune or Zoom.
I remember.
Forget what it was called, but
it was. You're right, Zune.
Yeah,
Zune, I think.
Supposed to be the iPod killer, and it just dead on arrival. The Neo Geo Pocket, which I personally liked for the 2 months that it was actually like a thing, that also like crashed and burned real bad.
Yep.
Neo Geo
I remember
Pocket.
there was this thing called N-Gage.
I remember that too. Yep.
Dude, when I was growing up, I remember before it came out, there was all these rumors about N-Gage. It was supposed to be like a cell phone, like gaming console.
Yeah.
And everybody was like going crazy. Dude, they were like, the N-Gage is going to be able to play Pokemon and like do all this crazy shit. And then like, I don't know. I know it eventually came out, but I don't think it did anything. I just don't think it did anything at all.
So in terms of the Switch 2, I'm actually excited about the design. Now there's mixed results, the way people feel about this. People are babies, but they basically made the Joy-Cons black and they have the hint of color under the actual analog sticks, which for someone like me who I like mature looking systems in general anyway. I was never a fan of the original Switch's design with the Joy-Cons being like that really bright blue and bright red.
Well, here's the thing, and I just think that people are slow because the original Switch released with two designs.
It did.
The black Joy-Cons and the blue and red Joy. Like, I got Switch day one. My Joy-Cons were both gray. Like, I just had two gray Joy-Cons.
Yeah.
I didn't have a blue and a red one. That's just going to happen here. There's going to be the gray one.
And there's going to be a bunch of different colors.
Yeah, there's going to be a fucking green and a yellow one and a purple and a blue.
There's going to be a bunch of different
billion
colors.
Joy-Cons. Like, relax.
But people were harping on what was shown in the preview. And I'm like, well, it's already known that these things are interchangeable. Like, you're not going to be stuck. If you buy the one with the two blacks, that's all they have at your local fucking GameStop, if they even exist by the time this comes out, then like, sure, that's the color that you have initially, but you can just order different color Joy-Cons. Like, it's not really that big of a deal. I like all black consoles when they're handheld. I like one color consoles. That's just how I am personally. So aesthetically, and I have people notice about me, but black is my favorite color. I wear a lot of all black. It just blends well with my persona to have an all black console. If I'm going to pull that thing out on a plane, it doesn't draw as much attention to kids, which I love. It doesn't draw as much attention to adults who just don't know what it is and they start asking you stupid questions. Like when they see something all black, it just kind of looks like a phone or a tablet of some sort.
Yeah, it could be anything.
And
like my OLED Switch is the Zelda Special Edition one, so it has like gold Joy-Cons, which actually look sick as fuck.
Yeah,
like that's cool. But I'm happy that I have my regular gray ones, but I've been using the gold ones a lot.
Yeah, and there's nothing like you can customize it, which I think is a cool thing. Here's what I want to say about the Switch 2 though. I'm not worried about it at all in terms of like it being bad, because I've gone on record on this podcast and said that I think that Nintendo reached the pinnacle of gaming, and I'd be very surprised if they can outdo themselves. I think the Switch is the most intelligent designed gaming console of all time. If I'm being completely honest and objective about this,
I agree.
I just think that like, and I said that Sony and Microsoft should just copy it, which I still think is happening, but I don't see how you can beat something that can literally be a in-house gaming console with really high graphics that you can just dock and it goes onto your TV, and then when you're ready to leave the house, you can just grab it out of the dock, put it in your bag, and still continue gaming with the exact same game that you were playing on your TV on the fly. Like, I don't think anything can really beat that, and I'm sure in like 30 years, eventually something will happen with gaming that might be revolutionary. But the same way the smartphone hasn't been changed in God knows how long. Smartphones, since the like iPhone, I don't even know, I'm gonna say like iPhone 4, there have not really been any advancements in technology of smartphones. They just have been the same, bro. And that's because they landed on a great design. Exactly. Like they reached a pinnacle where what else do you want your phone to do? It's touchscreen. It has very few buttons. They keep removing buttons and shit like that. They keep removing ports and outlets. So it's like phones are just to the point now. Don't expect them. Like, what do you want them to do? People get disappointed. Like, oh, this new phone is just like the last one. That's because the last one was good. The same case is with the Switch 2. The Switch is already good. So you don't need the Switch 2 to be like fucking shooting holograms out of the ground or something. I just don't know what people want.
Yeah, I mean, I'm in full agreement with everything you're saying here. Like, the Switch 1 was... And here's the thing. It spawned a ton of copycats like the Steam Deck, right?
Yep.
But the thing that's interesting about the Switch versus the Steam Deck, and now the Switch 2 versus the Steam Deck and all the other copycats, is that when you have the Steam Deck, you have access to Steam. When you have access to Steam, you can buy any game that's on Steam. But there's like this weird compromise because even though you have access to all of Steam's library, you can't play all of those games on the Steam Deck. Like, I had considered getting a Steam Deck because I wanted to play Marvel Rivals on it. And then I was also like, not only do I want to play Marvel Rivals, Monster Hunter Wilds comes out in like a month.
Yeah.
And I'm going to want to play that. And when I go away for work, when I travel for work, and I'm going to be traveling a lot more for work in like the near future, if things go the way they're supposed to go. When I travel for work, I want to be able to play Monster Hunter. I don't want to have to be away from it.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, I might get a Steam Deck. The Steam Deck can barely run Marvel Rivals. Like I looked at it. In order for it to run Marvel Rivals, you have to like put the graphics down so low, like even below base settings, you have to do something to the game to make it even lower, to make it look like a PS2 game.
Oh no.
For it to even run Marvel Rivals cleanly.
This is news to me.
Without frame drops and whatever. And like there's no planet where it's going to be able to play Monster Hunter Wild.
None.
So what's the point in me getting a Steam Deck if it can't play one of the games? So I say all that to say, with the Nintendo Switch, you know that every game released in its ecosystem is playable. Whereas the Steam Deck is in this weird spot where right now you have the Steam Deck. There's no plans, according to Valve, there's no plans on the Steam Deck being updated. So now the library the Steam Deck can access is going to get bigger and bigger, but you're not going to be able to access any of those games. And it's kind of frustrating because like you can buy those games. I can go on a Steam Deck. I can buy a game that I can't play. And that's like fucked up to me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like,
whereas when you buy a Switch, if I'm playing Smash Bros. Literally on my couch in my hands, and then you and Gary walk in and we say, yo, like, let's get a couple games in. I just go over to my TV, drop it in the dock, and the same exact game, it doesn't even miss a beat. The music and everything will pick right back up. And within 2 seconds, my screen pops up with the exact game that I was just playing. And it seamlessly transitions to a 1080p gigantic screen display that is now we're able to now game for the next several hours together. And when you guys leave, if I want to go upstairs or go in my bathroom, I can just literally grab my Switch out and continue it. And there's no thought, and it never has been, of, oh, this can't actually work in the mobile version because it's not powerful enough to do that. I didn't know what you just said about the Steam Deck. I had no idea that games literally don't just transition perfectly, because I just assumed that this is because of Nintendo, but because the Switch works so well, in my head I just thought that it was just like that. Like if I take it off the dock, it would just be a fully functional Switch again. But it's not the case with the Steam Deck.
It's not. It's really rough. Also, like we've talked about this before when praising the Switch, but it's funny how many things it helps circumvent, like a power outage, right?
Yep.
Like if the power goes out, I don't like my game doesn't turn like I love the fact that if something goes wrong, if somebody kicks the wire, if something goes wrong, the game just goes to portable mode. I can pick it up, keep playing it, save it, turn it off. Whereas I've played my PS5 playing like Final Fantasy 16, which I got to get back to playing, but playing those games where like you have a power outage, and when you go to turn the PS5 back on, it's like you turned it off incorrectly. Like you could have corrupted your data, blah, blah, blah. You turn it on and like you're fucking an hour behind because you didn't hit a save point. And it's like, oh my God, bro.
Yeah, I didn't really think about that too much, but you're right. Power outages are a scary thing because I'm a PC gamer going forward. Like I'm not doing consoles. I'm just done with that like forever. Like the only console that I'll be getting is a Nintendo one, just because those have proprietary games that I can't get basically anywhere else. Yep. But in terms of buying another PlayStation, or in terms of buying, there's fucking sirens.
Yeah, somebody got shot. Yeah,
something's going on. But in terms of buying like a PlayStation or buying an Xbox, which I never bought an Xbox, I don't want to continue this because I bought the PS5 years ago. I played it for all of a month, maybe a month on God of War Ragnarok, and never touched it again. It collected a lot of dust on my desk over the last 2 years, and then eventually I bought a gaming PC to play God of War Ragnarok on gaming PC, beat that game, played it on stream up until like literally the last 2 hours, and then like I ended it off stream, fought against last boss, you know who the last boss is, but fought against the last boss, saw the ending, everything, and I'm just like, I had a great experience just gaming on my PC. But then like you said, if at any point I was playing it and my power went out, which has happened before, like I've been, definitely at my computer and there's been a blackout. If I didn't save in a little bit, it'll just have gone out. What I have noticed though, at least with PCs, it's not like this with the PlayStation or probably not even the Xbox. With PCs, the amount of save states that happen in the background though is excessive. And when I first dove into the data, I saw all of these save states and I was like, I was asking Gary, I was like, what is this? He was like, these are all your saves. And I was like, I didn't do this. He was like, yeah, the game is just doing that. Like, it's just every bro, I want to say like every minute it creates a backup of where you are.
Yeah.
So at least in terms of a PC, I don't really have to worry about that. But that is a concern for the PS5 because I was playing Final Fantasy VII Remake years ago, and it was a blackout. There was a power outage in my room, and when my system turned back on, I had that message that said, hey, this system was turned off incorrectly, and now it needs to do like an update and all this other bullshit. And then when I turned it back on, I was 45 minutes behind where I actually saved that, it sucked. It just sucked. I had to play 45 minutes again, and I was grinding materia at the time. So I wasn't really doing anything. I wasn't doing something fun.
Yeah, that's the part that sucks, is that when you lose like a save point and your game turns off or something, and it's like, oh my God, I was doing like this and that, and oh fuck, I did this, and I gotta do that again.
Yeah, just really bad. So yeah, that's something, and yeah, it is a very small thing, right? Like power outages don't happen that often. It is a very small percentage of the reason why having a Switch is awesome, but these little things add up over like the course of time.
Yeah.
When you think about it. And like you said, I've been on my computer, I've been on my laptop, and I remember being on my laptop in my room before with the air conditioning, everything on, like central air running through the apartment, and then everything cuts off in the apartment except the laptop that I'm staring at. And I look around like, what the fuck? It's dark. Like my room lights go off, everything goes off, and I literally look around, and the only thing shining light on me at the moment is either my Switch or my laptop, because they just don't care. So that is a nice benefit.
That is like the laptop's unusable when the internet's off. But at least the Switch, you can keep gaming. You know what I mean? You can keep doing something.
Yeah, like unless I was doing something in like Word or Excel, there's not much I could do on my laptop. The only thing it tells me is that, that was a power outage, and this is unaffected by it in terms of like being still on. But what is cool is, and this is what's so great about living today. When that type of thing has happened, I just use my phone as a personal hotspot for my laptop. And then it's like, the first thing I do is go and check Verizon outage or like blackout in the city. Make sure there's not some national crisis that just happened that caused the power to be out. Because you never know what is going on in today's world.
That happens. That happened to me not that long ago. A couple, like month or two ago, I remember. Like it was like the biggest Verizon blackout in the last 8 years or whatever.
Yeah.
And like, I went on the Reddit, and like on the entire East Coast, like everybody's Verizon was out. It was fucking crazy.
I remember that. Yeah, it was really bad. And sometimes I get really annoyed when I don't have internet. Like I always say, if you want to see who I really am, take away my internet for like an hour, and I'm just a baby. Like I don't like not having internet. Let's just put it that way.
Sucks.
It really does suck. Like the world, speaking of things that like getting taken away, and people becoming different because they lost something.
Oh, before that, because I know exactly where we're going to go. There's at least one more thing, unless I think of something else I want to say about the Switch. Based on the teaser trailer, and what happened in the teaser trailer has like pseudo-confirmed a lot of leaks. Now, the stuff that is in the leaks that wasn't confirmed by the teaser yet are still taken with a grain of salt, but it gave more credibility to the leaks. Based on what was shown in the trailer with the Joy-Cons and them sliding across the table, and based on what was put in the leaks, the exact same leak that leaked pretty much all the information we currently have about the Switch that has been proven true, the Joy-Cons allegedly are going to have mouse functionality. And when you put them, so like in the trailer, you see them like skating around. Yeah. Apparently there's like a thing, like a laser or whatever, on the one side of the Joy-Con where you can put it down and you're going to be able to move it around like a mouse. I don't know fully what that's going to do with the games, what access that's going to give us, but apparently the Joy-Cons are going to have mouse functionality, which seems really fucking cool with whatever they can end up doing with that.
I don't fully want to transition to the loss of like TikTok and CapCut yet anyway. I do want to stick on the Switch for a little bit longer because, again, a lot of people were talking about the trailer and, the leaks were true. Oh, this is boring. This is not that great. And I think it's fine. I think the design is fine. I also think that when it comes to the way the Joy-Cons actually connect to the system.
That's so good.
Yeah. It's magnetized now. It's like these little, it almost looks like chips, like an actual chip is sticking out. But it's kind of embedded into the side where it's not exposed. So if you were to bang your Switch for what, I don't know why this would happen, but kids are kids, right? And these things are definitely marketed for children.
Oh God.
Yeah. Like it's not exposed in a way where you can like break it off unless you intentionally try to, because it's kind of like covered by the side when you take the Joy-Con off. But there's like a little chip that sticks out and you just connect it to that and it goes in. I'm just hoping that the drift issue is not as severe as it was with the Switch. I have owned 2 Switches now, and I've experienced drift twice, and it's really fucking bad. And I don't even game handheld that often, and I still ended up getting drift, which is like super obnoxious when it happens. I've also had drift happen with my PS5 controller, and I had to replace that. Or was it? It was my PS4 controller, not PS5. Because the PS5, I honestly did not touch it long enough to even get drift. But my PS4 controller I had to replace at one point because it was getting drift, and I was like, damn, like so many controllers are just not that great at holding up.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
They're not like the old controllers, man. And this is not nostalgia. I still have my game, like I still have a GameCube controller from 2001. Like I still have old GameCube controllers, and they just fucking work.
Yeah.
Like they just work. I have old PS2 controllers that just work.
Yep.
The only thing that's bad about my old PS2 controller now that it's like kind of unplayable is like the rubber is like kind of expired. It's like really sticky and weird. So like the controller's kind of like it's just degraded at this point.
But it's fine because we're talking about a 25-year-old system at this point, whatever. So
you're
just kind of like, whatever. It is what it is.
I do hope, like, I hope Joy-Con drift is just not even a fucking thing. Like, I really hope it's just because they're all new. It's all new design. The thing with the old Joy-Cons is that at the end of the day, they were all the same, even when they came out with new ones, and whatever flaw may have been in the design. These Joy-Cons are completely different. They're bigger. There's different components in them. So hopefully, in that time, they really took like whatever lesson they needed to take and be like, okay, let's really make sure this one doesn't have the issue that the previous Joy-Con had. Yeah.
So what I remember is that I was playing Monster Hunter Rise and Sunbreak, and there will be moments where you kind of need to mash or rotate your Joy-Con. And the same thing was true with like on the PlayStation Monster Hunter World, when you mounted a monster, you would have to do like a mini game that sometimes required you to mash. Those types in Dragon Ball fighting games too, there's parts where you have to mash and rotate and do things like that. Whenever a situation like that comes up and I'm using a controller, I always get a little bit nervous that if I play this game a lot, it doesn't matter what it is. This is like not just Nintendo, it's not just Sony, it's not just Microsoft, it's all of them. Any game that requires you to like basically mash your analog or do anything with your analog where you're rotating it really, 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 really fast, as fast as you can go, will just eventually erode it. And I am always afraid of that. Because controllers are now $80. They're fucking $80 a pop.
They're
like, you want 2 new Joy-Con. Joy-Cons are expensive as shit. A PS5 controller is expensive as shit. And I just have to assume that the Microsoft controller replacements are also $80.
Oh, yeah. They're horrible. What I started doing this a couple years ago, is I got a Pro controller and I got a warranty on it because, like,
oh wow,
one of my Pro controllers got drift. So I got a year warranty on it. And with the warranty, it was like, at any time in that year, I could take it back and get a new one for like $10.
Yeah.
It was like $10 or $15. And so literally I did that. And then every year I just got a new controller.
Yep.
I was like, I'd rather get a new controller every year for like 10 or $15 than like wait a year and a half, the controller gets drift, and now I got to buy a whole new controller anyway. It's like, I never get warranties, but it's like, okay, if I know I'm going to use the warranty, I'm just going to fucking do it. Like, I'm going to get the warranty. I'll get a fucking new controller for $15 every year. I'm good to go.
Yeah, no, I like the idea of that. Things that I'm hoping for, things that I'm optimistic for with the Switch 2 is, so I used to have this problem. I'm sure everyone's experienced this if you had a Switch, but when I would slide my Joy-Con in on the side, you would kind of hear the sound like a confirmation, like, oh, okay, it worked, but then it just wouldn't be. And you'd have to keep doing that shit over and over again until it registered.
Yeah.
I used to hate that. That shit, when you're just trying to play a game and it won't register, but you're looking at the screen and you see the little like red bar on the side that kind of tells you like, oh, okay, it went in, right?
Yeah.
And then on the left side, you see the little bar as well when you slide it down, and it appears like a visual confirmation. But then sometimes it still wouldn't register. You unpause the game or try to, and it's like, yeah, you're still not connected. It's like, bro, the controller is literally inside of you right now. I don't know what to tell you. Like,
I don't know what to do.
I did all I could do. So I'm hoping that's a little bit better.
It's going to be nice. Just like the ease of connecting and unconnecting those controllers are going to be really good now. And then also, even though I think you're kind of brain dead if you ever did this, but once again, maybe kids and babies are,
I always try to think about kids when
a lot when the Switch came out, people were giving Nintendo shit 'cause they were like, oh, you can put the Joy-Cons in wrong and they'll get stuck and it'll like ruin your system. Because like people would put them on the wrong side, like upside down or something. I was like, I don't even know how you do that.
Yeah, I was about to say
it was a huge thing in the first like 3 months of the Switch.
Yeah, that's a rant. But
and I understand if a baby or whatever does it,
right?
But like, there was grown men talking about it, like, oh, like, how was I supposed to know?
Yeah, like, be so fucking for real.
Come on now.
Yeah, I like that it's bigger. So the first part of the trailer basically is a regular Switch starts growing, essentially, is like it just gets literally bigger in size. I'm a fan of that. I don't think that the Switch had a small screen per se anyway, but like,
it didn't.
I'm all for more screen real estate. I like that.
The biggest upgrade with it being bigger, because like, I also think the screen was perfectly fine on the original Switch, but it being bigger is obviously good. The real reason why it being bigger is better, though, is because it makes the Joy-Cons bigger.
Ah, yes.
And you know what I mean? Because the Joy-Cons have to be bigger.
Yeah.
Now that the Joy-Cons are bigger, it's going to be more comfortable for like adult hands.
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes a lot of sense.
So that's like the big upgrade to me with the screen being bigger. It's not even the screen, it's the Joy-Cons.
Yep. But yeah, I'm happy about that. It looks like a great console to me already because, again, I like the Switch. I like the Switch's concept and design. I still think that every gaming company should just copy it if they're going to do hardware at all. I don't have any real gripes with the thing. Like, I'm waiting to see, when it comes out, what all it can do, and that's going to be in April. I'm patient, though. I wasn't one of those people that was rushing Nintendo to get out a Switch successor. Like, I was never complaining, like, dear God, where's the Switch 2 every day? Like, it just wasn't that deep for me. Like, when it's ready, we will get it. And that's just kind of how I feel. But 2025 is it's fine.
My thing is, like, I don't know, the Switch felt like, because of the concept of the console, it doesn't feel outdated even now.
To me, it doesn't at all, yeah.
Yeah, even though it's nowhere near as strong as the PS5. It's not even close.
Right.
It feels still so up to date because of what it can do that the PS5 can't.
Yeah.
And I don't know. According
it's still
to the
a
leaks,
futuristic concept. Like, the concept of it's still beyond its time if you really think about it.
According to the leaks, it's supposed, like, some people think it's going to be like as strong or a little bit stronger than the PS4, and some people are disappointed about that. Some people are excited. In my opinion, that's like sounds amazing.
That is, because the PS4 is really powerful.
Yeah, if it's as strong as the PS4 and it's a fully portable console, like, that's honestly, I'm perfectly happy with that, because look at how good Tears of the Kingdom looks on the Switch.
Yes.
Now, like, and Xenoblade 3. Look, if you look at Xenoblade 3, I don't give a fuck what console that's on. That game looks amazing. Now on the Switch 2, where it's going to have more RAM and everything, Xenoblade 3 is just going to run better. And on top of that, the games they're now going to make, because Nintendo has this magic where even though they have underpowered systems, they make them look so much better than what anybody else could possibly do with that hardware. It's fucking crazy.
And I saw something, and this is a rumor as of right now, but I do kind of think it's just going to be reality, because there was a time where I didn't think that Nintendo products would be running Kingdom Hearts games, and look at us now. They said that Final Fantasy VII Remake and like Rebirth would end up on the Switch 2. And in my head, I was like, yo, if they can run remakes, I just remember Remake so vividly. It was the beginning of the pandemic when it came out.
Man,
the game looks
That game makes
insane.
me so sad to think about. It's too nostalgic for me.
It really is.
I just get so sad because I love that game. It makes me so sad.
It's such a good game, and it was the start of the pandemic. And me and Gary literally, like, I was playing it, and he watched my entire playthrough of that game. And man, when I tell you that game is beautiful, so when I started thinking about, again, it's a rumor, but when I was thinking about them saying that it could play Final Fantasy VII Remake, Jesus Christ, that would be insane. That would mean that it is a very powerful system if it can run that game fine, because that game really does graphically look amazing.
It really does. I'm gonna cry when the next big Zelda comes out. I'm probably gonna cry, and when Final Fantasy Remake Part 3 comes out, I'm probably gonna cry, man. It's just
I wanted to say too, in terms of things coming out, like, definitely excited for Final Fantasy and the next Kingdom Hearts game and all that other stuff. So I'm really invested in the Switch too because of Smash. I feel like Smash marks, now that we've had like 5 of them, I feel like Smash marks parts of my life, like eras of my life, right? Because I was around for the very first Smash game. I was an actual actual child when the first ever Smash game came out. And then Melee came out, teenage years, right? And then Brawl came out, end of my teenage years, beginning of my adult years. Smash 4 came out, I'm fully an adult, living on my own. Smash Ultimate comes out, still fully an adult, but like an older adult now. Now I look at people who are in their early 20s as children. Like, I look at them as kids now. The next Smash game, by the time that comes out, it will have been the longest wait between 2 Smash games. The longest wait before was between, Brawl and Smash 4, I want to say, was the longest wait.
Yeah.
And now the wait between Smash Ultimate's been out for 6 years now. It's not coming out in the next 4 months. We know that. So the next Smash game won't be out for probably 7 years between. And there's never been a Smash game that took over 7 years to come out. So this will be the longest wait. I'm just excited for it for a couple reasons. One, and it won't disappoint me if they do this, if the next Smash game is just Ultimate 2, I'm so fine with that. They literally just balance Ultimate, because it definitely needs it, because it there's problems with the game now with obviously some of these fucking characters just need to be nerfed. Some characters could use a buff, all that stuff. Just do what Nintendo does. There's Sakurai, he's the GOAT. rebalance Smash Ultimate, right? That's the first step. But then just start releasing new characters. Because like Kenny said, and this was kind of surprising to him when I told him that, like, yeah, Smash Ultimate to the next Smash game is the longest wait between them. And he was a little surprised about that. And he said one of the reasons he was surprised about it is because the DLC, like every 6 months or whatever, would make it feel like the game was coming out again.
Yeah, it's just, it makes the game doesn't feel as old. It keeps it fresh. I think if they do that, so for example, when the Wii U came out, we had Mario Kart 8, and then that had DLC, which added a bunch of characters and tracks. They put Mario Kart 8 Deluxe on the Switch, and just all of the DLC, everything would just include it in the package, and then Mario Kart 8 Deluxe ended up getting DLC, which was fucking crazy. Mario Kart 8 Deluxe is the best-selling Switch game, period.
Wow.
I think
that's so
yeah, it's not even close.
What is it? Mario Party Deluxe, you said?
No, Mario Kart
Mario
8.
Kart Deluxe. Okay.
That is the best-selling Switch game, and it's not close.
And that's why they showed it in the trailer for this Nintendo Switch.
Yeah, well, they showed Mario Kart 9 in that trailer. Because what they showed in that trailer, the karts were completely different. Like, none of those karts are in Mario Kart 8, and that track's not in Mario Kart 8. So unless it's another Mario Kart 8 and they just added new stuff, but I'm fairly certain that's Mario Kart 9, which makes sense because Mario Kart is one of their best-selling games, period.
Yeah.
But to what you said, because I think making a brand new Smash game is going to be very difficult for various reasons. One of those reasons is getting all the licenses again, if they wanted to have all of those characters. But I don't think you would have that issue if you just re-release Smash Ultimate. If you just said, this is Smash Ultimate as like a complete package. This is Super Smash Bros. Ultimate Complete. And all of the DLC is just included in the buy. And then on top of that, they add new stuff later as DLC.
Yeah.
I think in that regard, maybe you don't have to renegotiate the license.
Yeah,
I'm not 100%
I feel like
sure.
Nintendo was smart when they made Smash Ultimate. I don't think that all of those licenses just expired with that game anyway, if I'm being honest.
I hope.
Yeah, this is just like an optimistic take, but I just assume that they were thinking about the future when they did Ultimate and not just the current moment. Let's just get these characters secured into this game for now. Let's get Sora and Sephiroth for just now, and that's it. I think that they're looking at the broader picture here. And in the future, we're just going to get the next Smash game very well could be just Smash Ultimate 2, essentially. Like, whatever they call it, I don't care. But essentially, it's just Smash Ultimate with a lot of extra add-ons like they did with the Mario Kart 8 Deluxe stuff, where it really did feel like a brand new game because there was so much new content. They could totally do the exact same thing with Smash Ultimate, and it would be awesome. Continue the storyline, add that type of stuff in. Like, make it really do feel like a new game, but have all the characters again, because it's gonna be sucky to lose some of the characters anyway. Like, I don't play everybody or whatnot, but I still empathize with people. There's a person or several people actually who care about every individual character in Smash Ultimate.
Yeah, that's why it's going to be tough. They have to either make the next Smash Ultimate and it is just like Ultimate again and they add some new characters to it and they keep everything, or they go the other direction where it's a reboot and the game only has like 20 characters or something. And
I can see either one of them happening.
So if they don't do a reboot necessarily and it's just like the next Smash game and it's like, let's say 60 characters, that's going to feel like it sucks because it's going to be missing 30 characters.
Yeah.
But if they do like a reboot and it only has like 20 characters, that might feel better than if it had 60, if that makes sense.
I get what you're saying.
Like,
I get what you're saying, because 60 means that, damn, why did my character have to be one of the ones that got chopped?
Yeah.
Whereas if it's a real reboot and it just goes to a really condensed roster, then you're like, well, yeah, most of the cast is not here that you're used to from Ultimate, so you kind of get over it. But if you're one of like 25 characters who get left out, it's gonna feel really sucky. It's like, damn, what why you say fuck me for?
yeah.
Like, why you say fuck me? Like, damn, what did my character do that deserved to be cut? Like, I thought he was cool. So yeah, I do see what you're cooking with that one. I'm very hopeful for the next Smash game. It's the game that I definitely played the most on the Switch. It was between that and Monster Hunter Rise, of course. But I think that just because of how long Ultimate was out, I played that way more than any other game.
I actually do think I played Rise more.
I have to check my hours.
Yeah, I played my Rise Sunbreak file was like, I think 1,300 hours.
You're right.
It was...
Yeah, maybe I play so much Ultimate, or I should say I played so much Ultimate, but you could be right. It could be that I've played more Rise, and because I only played Rise in a small period of time compared to my like Ultimate time, because Ultimate was basically from like the beginning of the Switch all the way until literally now. Like we played Ultimate in September when we were all at the Roach Hotel. So
because with The thing with Ultimate is that like I would play it, you play it with a group of your friends,
right?
And
but you don't really play it by yourself, yeah.
And you play it for like 5 hours or whatever with a group of your friends on a random day. But like with Rise/Sunbreak, I would play that for 20 hours.
Yeah,
a day.
You're right. Literally,
for multiple days.
Literally 20 hours a day.
No, like it'd be crazy.
Yeah, I think you're right. Between Rise and Sunbreak, if I just could just say Monster Hunter, I've definitely played more Monster Hunter probably on my Switch than anything else. But yeah, excited. Switch 2 finally coming out.
Yeah, Switch 2. New Mario Kart's going to be awesome. I'm going to get that day one. I love Mario Kart 8. It's one of the best Mario Karts they ever made. If it might be the best Mario Kart 8. It is so good in multiple ways. So I hope Mario Kart 9 takes that, because we've had instances where we've had shitty Mario Karts. We've had some Mario Karts that are just like, don't feel good to play, don't have good maps, don't have good controls. So hopefully Mario Kart 9 is just like Mario Kart 8 plus. Just feels good, has like similar driving mechanics, and yeah, it's just like better, has a lot of characters and courses and whatnot. And then I'm super pumped to see what we get in terms of a new Zelda. Obviously, that's probably not going to be revealed right away, but
people need to control their expectations too, because there are some people who are like, "Oh, we're getting a new Zelda game at launch, or we're getting a new."
No,
like
we might, but no.
I just don't think you're getting a Zelda game for a couple years. Actually, like if I'm being honest, Tears of the Kingdom.
Yeah,
I feel like Tears of the Kingdom just came out not that long ago.
Yeah,
like, it's only been a couple years, which Zelda games take a while, especially we're talking about a main title Zelda game, not the little side ones and stuff like that. They can come out whenever, but a main title Zelda game, I think is going to take a while.
It's not coming out at launch. I don't think so. There's a chance we get a new Mario at launch, or within the first like 6 months.
I think that's very reasonable.
We might have a new Mario, like 3D Mario, like Mario Odyssey, Mario 64.
Yeah, one of the mainline ones. Sunshine, 64, Galaxy. Yeah, I know exactly what you mean. I totally think that a Mario game within the first year will come out.
Yeah.
And there will be some other like AAA titles, some, major IPs from Nintendo. I just don't think Zelda and Smash are the two that I'm hoping Smash. That's the one I'm hoping for. I don't think that that's a crazy take, especially if I'm going with the belief that they're just going to continue with Ultimate. If they go a completely different direction, it's a completely different game. Then I really don't know the timeline on that. But Zelda, I think, will take a while, because Zelda either launches with the system, I feel like, or it comes out into the system's life, like a little deep into it.
And the thing is, like, they've kind of painted themselves into a corner in a way, because of how just massive Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom is.
Yeah,
like, the next Zelda game also has to be fucking massive.
Yeah, you can't go backwards. Damn.
Like, unless you do like they did with Echoes of Wisdom, which was a really cute small scale game.
Yeah,
like a 2D top down Zelda. That's awesome. That's a great Zelda game, a needed game. I'm really happy it came out. I played it. It was incredible. But in terms of doing like the big Zelda game, it can't be as big as like Ocarina of Time. You know what I mean? Like, it's got to be fucking huge.
Yeah. Yeah, I am excited for that. I feel like there was something else I wanted to say about the Switch 2 and just like release titles, but I mean, yeah, the one I'm mostly excited for is obviously Smash. I'm also excited because I know it's very early to be talking about this right now, but I'm just going to bring it up as like a closing point. There will be a Monster Hunter game that is a Switch Monster Hunter game, because there are two teams for Monster Hunter. There's a team that basically works on like the main Monster Hunter world and all that stuff, and then there's the team that works on the other side, which is always the more like anime-esque version of Monster Hunter, which is where you get your Rise, Sunbreak, and the ones that came out on 3DS, like Double Cross and all that stuff. I like them both. I like the ones that are super realistic, like Wilds and World, and also like Rise, Sunbreak, Double Cross, Generations, whatever you want to call it. I like those as well. They cater to two different like types of visual appetites. I'm fine with both of them. I like Monster Hunter so much, I really don't care, but I can't wait for that too. That'll be later as well, because Wilds is not even out yet as we record this. So I imagine within the next, like, it'll probably be 3 years.
5 years. 3 to 5 years.
Yeah, 3 to 5 years from now before we even get like that first little trailer at the Game Awards where it's like, oh shit.
Yeah, because like you said, Wilds isn't out yet, and it's going to be a year after Wilds comes out until we get like Iceborne or whatever.
Yeah, the Iceborne version of it.
Year, 2 years or whatever. So yeah, it'll be a little while, but eventually we will get another like portable Monster Hunter game, and that'll just be fucking awesome to play on the Switch too, because it's just going to be fucking legit. I'm excited to see how the Switch games run on the Switch 2. Like when I put Tears of the Kingdom into the Switch 2, is it going to run like super, super, super clean? Like I'm really excited to see that.
That's a good point too, because it is backwards compatible, which I think is really smart to just have your system be backwards compatible. I personally don't like when systems are not backwards compatible at this point.
Oh yeah.
And like
It's
at
crazy.
this point, telling me that I need to own several consoles to play certain games does not sit well with me, especially if they're in the same family, i.e. Nintendo. I feel like, you know, if you're going to have a Switch predecessor, make it where I can just play Switch games.
Yeah, keep the ecosystem all together. We have like this big ecosystem already. Don't screw us over.
Yeah.
I'm excited because even Breath of the Wild like ran really well, all things considered. There's one area in particular. It's the Kokiri, not the Kokiri forest, but maybe it's the Kokiri, whatever, the Korok forest. That forest with all of its like roughage and shit and the leaves and everything did get a little framey.
Yeah. This is
so
in
I'm
Breath of
super
the Wild
excited.
or in Tears of the Kingdom?
Breath of the Wild.
Okay.
I think it runs a little better in Tears of the Kingdom, but still, you know, still a little framey, specifically in that area.
Yeah.
So I'm just excited to plug Breath of the Wild into the new Switch and go there and just see. I might fucking replay Breath of the Wild from scratch. I don't know. Like that game is so good.
Yeah.
So I'm just so excited to see these games like run cleaner, have like a more stable frame rate on the Switch.
I think what you're saying is very, very probable because I still remember when me and Medina lived together and the new 3DS came out. And Monster Hunter Double Cross had came out as like one of the things that was on it.
I remember this.
I was playing. I'd ordered the new 3DS, and he wasn't going to get one at first because he was like, "No, I don't want that. It's a waste of money. Nintendo's not getting me twice, and all the rants." And I was like, "Yeah, bro, I'm gonna just order it." And so I ordered it. It came. I plugged in Monster Hunter Double Cross. We sat right next to each other like we always did after work. Turned it on. I was like, "Let's hunt." And on my game, there was not even an actual monster, not one of the big monsters that has a name.
Yeah, it was the snake one, right?
The snake thing that just shoots poison. That I forget what it's called, but it starts with an R.
It's like a Remburo or something like
remote. I don't know. It was something though that it's a snake-like flying creature, and it was flapping its wings. Like kind of in the distance, but not too far in the distance, but it was flapping its wings. On my screen, you could just see it flapping fluidly. Like the animation for it was just a fluid flap like it was intended to look. But on Medina's screen, it was literally like framed like one up, down, like very, very, very framey, very like cringe to look at.
1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3.
Almost like a pop-up book or something, like one of those books that you just like, go through quickly.
Shit.
It looked really, really bad. And we literally held up because we were in the same area. And in that game, they had areas that like they took loading and all that stuff. So we both put our games, and he stood right next to my character. And we looked at it side by side on the consoles. And the way mine looked and the way his looked, he literally ordered a new 3DS that day. Like that night, he ordered a new 3DS. He saw that he could not deal with me playing on such a better system than him right beside him. So I have faith.
What that goes to show though is that like, and at the end of the day, that was the same console. That was just a 3DS with like, but a better 3DS. This being an entirely new console, this is the Switch 2. Some people are hating because they're like, it's not going to be that much of an upgrade, blah, blah, blah. We don't have anything confirmed yet. I think it's going to be significantly stronger than the Switch. I don't think it's going to be close. Right? Yeah, it's going to be so much stronger than the Switch. It won't be as strong as the PS5, but it's going to be so much stronger than the Switch. And so playing your old Switch games that looked really nice, but maybe didn't run the best, I think they're going to run fucking great on this console. And then the new games that come out are just like the new Metroid, the eventual Mario and Zelda, and maybe even Final Fantasy and Monster Hunter. I'm super pumped for like the future we have ahead of us with the Switch 2 because it's already like one of my favorite the Switch is my favorite console of all time. Basically, it just does everything I need it to do. So getting a better version of that, I'm pumped.
Yeah, I'm excited for it. I'm going to get one when it comes out, and I'll just like wait and see like what games come out. But I want to be a part of like that day one vibe. Hopefully they have something that I really want to play on there, but I'm going to be waiting for Smash. I know that it won't be too long after it comes out that a Smash game will come out. And then I know in a couple of years for sure there will be a Monster Hunter and all that stuff. So I definitely want to get one because like I said, I'm going to be a PC gamer. The only thing that I will need to own in conjunction with my PC is the Nintendo current gaming console.
I hope that whenever it comes out, I don't know when it's coming out, but when Slay the Spire 2 comes out, I need like if it comes out before the Switch 2, I need that shit to launch I need the Switch 2 to launch with Slay the Spire 2.
That would be a perfect game for me to have on the Switch 2.
Bro, I need Slay the Spire 2 on the Switch 2.
Because then I'll just have something to play from day one on that device, which will be awesome.
Please, God.
Yeah, that's a good one. Okay, so the other thing that we wanted to talk about today was last night, actually. It was supposed to happen today, the 19th. But last night, the 18th, TikTok went down and every social media platform, you know, they were memeing, people were outraged. There were people fully on Instagram live and on YouTube live and all that, like crying. I've seen people crying. I'm talking about actual tears too, not like they're just doing this for a bit. People who, and the reason why they were crying is because they make their living off of this, but actual people like in tears because they're saying, guys, you don't understand. This is like TikTok is my job. I make all of my money. I quit my job back in 2000 and whatever. And I've been a full-time TikTok content creator and it has paid me well enough where I could do this full time and it's now gone. And I don't know how I'm going to continue to like pay my bills and all this other stuff. Like, you know, so I've seen a lot of that last night and there's two types of people in the world. There are people who are happy to see other people miserable about something that they enjoy. And there's people who are just like, you know, I don't wish this on you because I also like things that I would be pissed off if they got taken away from me. So I empathize with you. I'm of the latter part of that where I like certain services and games and things. For example, if tomorrow Steam got banned in the US, that would fucking suck. For me and for a lot of people, and if my friends were bitching about it, I wouldn't be like, oh, well, I'm a console gamer, so too bad for y'all. I guess I got to go out and buy a PS5. Like, I don't take joy in people being miserable because something that they enjoy got taken away. Like, I don't have TikTok, to be clear. I do not have it. I've never had it. I don't have it on my phone. It's not downloaded, but I don't care that I don't have it. I'm not, like, happy that it's gone because I was never a TikTok user. That doesn't like, bring me joy. That this app that really didn't impact my life in any real way, like it didn't do anything for me, but it's gone for people who really, really loved it. And I'm not like celebrating that as some kind of weird victory that, oh, y'all lost TikTok. Guess you got to get a real job now. Like that's just.
Yeah. No, fun. It sucks. It definitely sucks. I will say this though, and not to like blame the victim. I will say this, and I know that it's not that easy, but you did know that TikTok was going to get shut down. Like we knew it was going to get shut down for like a while now. So, like, they should have been trying to, like, transition to, like, YouTube or whatever. At the end of the day, it just sucks, period. But I wish that a lot of those people, like there's this one guy, I'm sure a lot of you have seen this guy's TikToks or YouTube shorts, if not, whatever. But it's this black guy. He's got, like, dreads. Not, like, super long dreads, but dreads. And he always, like, talks about something. And he'd be like, now, see, Kendrick had a problem. That's like his thing. He'll like start telling a story and then he'll be like, and now Rihanna had a problem. And that's like kind of like the catch line of like kind of the start of the video. And he like tells a story and then like he tells the story in a minute or whatever. But he got really big on TikTok. But after the TikTok thing got announced or whatever, like a year ago, whenever it was, he started putting a lot more of his content on YouTube. And then I noticed like one of his YouTube videos, like after he did it, he said, hey, like this is also my last TikTok. Like I'm not uploading to TikTok anymore because TikTok's getting shut down.
Yeah. So
like everything's transferred over to YouTube shorts or whatever. But it just sucks because there are a lot of people. TikTok has a whole different monetization practice than YouTube.
Yes, it does.
And for some people that works better for them. So no matter how you slice it, it does just suck that for those people who make their livelihood off of that platform, that it is shut down. Like, it sucks.
I would not be happy. I mean, this could happen to anything in theory. I would not be happy if any platform just went away. Like if YouTube just was fucking gone tomorrow.
Yeah.
Some of you would lose your minds, bro. If Dueling Book went down, some of you would lose your fucking minds. If Konami actually just came through and shut that shit down completely, like Dueling Book is no longer a thing. You now are forced to either play Master Duel or Duel Links, and that's it. You do not have a simulator anymore. You do not have a way to play Yu-Gi-Oh! Outside of literally Duel Links and Master Duel, which are not even like the formats that people want to play, outside of people who want to play those specific Master Duel and Duel Link formats. Like no Edison, no goats, no hat, no none of that shit.
Yeah, because like Master Duel's not even modern current format.
No, it's own
not even
format.
Modern. It's its own format.
Yeah. It has Max C and shit in it. So it's not the OCG format. It's not the TCG format. It's its own thing. And that's fine.
Yeah.
I'm not shitting on people who want to play Master Duel format. If that's the format you like, by all means play it. You know, I always say this message. But I would not be happy if Master Duel went down tomorrow. Like, oh, guess y'all gotta come over to Dueling Book like the rest of us. Like, that's not cool to me. It doesn't make me feel like a cool person to be like, oh man, I didn't use it. But for the people who did, y'all salty right now. Some people just like weirdly take joy. And like it could just happen to you too. Taking joy in that is silly to me. I think that you need to really evaluate like your own mental health at that point because like what is wrong with you that you think that that's cool? But
it's great. Yeah. Also, like it reminds me of like when people were happy when Sega died. Like there was people that were just like happy when Sega, like,
Yeah.
because Sega just failed as a console company, and people were just like happy about that. And I know people are like celebrating Xbox's console not doing as well. People are celebrating that. But Xbox is doing this thing where they're transitioning. Apparently, like they've confirmed that a lot of Xbox support is going to be on the Switch too.
Okay.
And other things as well. Like every Xbox game is on PC. They're all like they're going to try to put a bunch of Xbox games on Nintendo Switch, which is Switch 2, which is fucking crazy. So anyway, my point is though, like there's some people that grew up on Xbox so hard, like the 360 playing Halo, like they love it. So like to take joy if like Xbox went under is like kind of cringe.
It's very weird too, because it's not like these companies have done something to you personally. Like TikTok has not done anything wrong to me. I don't use TikTok because I just choose to not become addicted to yet another thing. I'm already addicted to so many other things like YouTube and Instagram and Twitter or whatever, right? I chose to not add another thing to my addictions, and I knew that TikTok would be very good at addicting me. So I just said, no, I'm not going to download it. I'm not going to get involved. All my friends love it, and I'm happy that they love it, but I'm not happy that it's gone or anything, because my friends are kind of tight right now that they don't have their TikTok, and that doesn't bring me joy in a weird way. Like I don't know what part of the human brain, and some of you, makes you happy that like, oh man, that thank God that shit's gone. Now y'all can touch grass. Like you don't fucking touch grass either. You just happen to use Pornhub, which isn't down, and it's still, you know, that's your drug of choice secretly or whatever. It's like, bro,
it's not a secret,
right?
Right. Not a secret.
Like, let me look at your fucking search history and see what you spend 12 hours a day on gooning and shit.
Oh, that's a lot. Hold on, wait a second.
Some people goon.
If you're on Pornhub 12 hours a day, like you have a problem.
Look up gooning. Right? Do you know what gooning is, Kenny?
Unfortunately.
Okay. Oh, so I was about to read it out to the class.
Yeah. No, I know what it is. People love it. People love it. Not me. You know. But I will say, kind of jokingly, I feel bad for the people that made their living off of TikTok it being shut down. But you know what? I'm happy it's shut down for those other people that wasted their day. You know what I mean? You guys needed a break. You guys needed something to break you out of it. I feel bad for the one people, but you guys, you'll be okay. This is like coming out of a drug addiction. All right, I believe in.
I think that TikTok is going to come back anyway.
Probably.
I think that this is mostly just a stunt. A lot of people are onto it already. It's just kind of one of those things where this was initiated by Trump years ago, like 5 years ago in 2020.
Yep.
And Biden then signed it into law. And now Trump, in his like first couple of days or whatever, is saying that he's going to extend the time period that TikTok has to find a resolution where they can still exist in the United States, which is so interesting because it's basically like Trump is trying to play hero for something that he fucking started.
Which is so weird. I feel like this has happened a lot with Trump's administration in general. Like my biggest example is with the COVID vaccine, which is so weird to me in that like mostly Trump supporters are like anti-COVID vaccine.
Yes.
But it was Trump that championed the vaccine. Trump was like, America's the best. We created the vaccine.
Yep.
We fast-tracked it. We made the fastest vaccine in history. And like, he was like, we did it. It was all us. Like, I'm the best president. Like Trump, he is the like champion the vaccine, but it's Trump supporters that like hate the vaccine, and then also feel like as time went on, Trump is like in the middle, like pro-vax and anti-vax, whatever.
Because he started off being super into COVID is not real. That was his original stance. Is like, oh, this entire thing is a hoax. Obviously, a lot of fucking people died because of COVID. So then he had to backpedal. And unfortunately, a lot of his fans, a lot of the MAGA people were like still anti-COVID and believe that it's a hoax and it's not real. And there's no reason to protect yourself, wear a mask or take the vaccine. Even when he started championing for the vaccine and like protecting yourself and acknowledging that COVID is indeed not a fucking hoax and that people are actually dying from this new illness. So it like he definitely has played both sides of the fence. And there are people there are people still to this day who are like, oh man, the COVID's not real and stuff like that. It's like, bro, you guys are lunatics, like actual lunatics. Like hundreds of thousands of people died. Yeah.
Also, I'm still waiting for I just remember when the vaccines came out, everybody was like, watch, like in a year or two, like all the people that took the vaccine are going to die.
Yeah.
Like blah, blah, blah. Like I'm still waiting on all those vaccine deaths that I still haven't seen any.
Completely. It's been 5 years now, 4 years now. So still unfounded. I did want to
on that same vein.
No, go ahead.
Oh, yeah. I was just going to say on that same vein, it's funny because I remember Trump was the one saying like, I'm going to get rid of TikTok. I'm taking it down. And now it's funny to hear that like he's going to try to extend the lifeblood of TikTok. So it's, I don't know. But I do think in some way, shape, or form, because TikTok, for those of you that don't know, if I have my history correct, It started off as some app called Musical.ly.
Yeah.
There was an app called Musical.ly that eventually became TikTok. And then I also feel like that was an extension of what Vine used to be. So like it'll be back in some way, shape, or form.
Yeah, if not literally itself, it'll just be a new app that does the exact same thing. But just to give some history here, I got this off the internet. It says in 2020, Donald Trump proposed a ban of the app as he viewed it as a security threat, which a lot of you probably remember this happening. He signed an executive order instructing that ByteDance, the China-based parent company of TikTok, divest from the app, though the order was reversed by the Biden administration in 2021. However, in 2024, the Protecting Americans from Foreign Adversary Controlled Applications Act was proposed in Congress, again ordering that ByteDance divest due to alleged security concerns and pro-Palestinian bias. The bill was approved by Congress and signed into law by Biden. Following a lawsuit from TikTok, the law was upheld by the Supreme Court. So I say all to say, a lot of y'all are being played by both sides. And you have to acknowledge, and this is not just a TikTok thing. This is just like politics in general. It's two sides of the same fucking coin, bro. Like,
yep,
it's the same. It's different wings on the same bird. Like, however you want to call it, Democrat, Republican. They're all in cahoots. Like, they're all working together. You see Obama and Trump at the fucking funeral for Jimmy Carter laughing together and telling jokes to each other and snickering, having a grand old time. Mind you, Trump literally denied that Obama was even a U.S. citizen for years. Attacked this man, called this man everything but a child of God. Literally just hated on him his entire administration. Even when Barack Obama was no longer the president, he just shit on him all the time. And then you see these two literally last week having, a grand old time together. They sat right next to each other and they were dying, laughing, telling jokes the entire time. And there's all these pictures and videos of it. And then you see stuff like this where it's like Trump initiated the TikTok thing, Biden signed it into law, then Trump saying, oh no, wait, let's stop this, let's give them more time. And it's like, bro, they're just playing everybody. Trump's going to try to look like a fucking hero. Biden's checked out a long time ago because he doesn't even know where he is anymore. He doesn't know what's going on. So
no,
it's just,
he's the definition. It's so funny. I remember in school, don't ask me what grade, but a grade in school, learning about like the term lame duck president.
Yeah,
he is the definition of a lame duck president.
Yes.
Like he knows that like it's done, and he's just like not doing anything. And
I think he said like 2 days ago or some shit that he was going to leave the whole TikTok thing the next administration. Like I'm not even dealing with that in my last week. Like I'll pass on that. You guys can figure it out. And honestly, what could he do anyway in the last like month at this point, right? It wouldn't matter whatever he tried to do. Like they don't control the Senate and Congress anymore. They don't control the House. The Democrats have lost every position of power that they possibly could have had in this last election. So honestly, to save himself a headache, I would just not even worry about it either. Like he is, like you said, the definition of a lame duck president. I'm glad at the very least that the president isn't Biden anymore, because I don't feel like he did anything in the last 4 years, really. So we'll see what happens. But with this whole TikTok thing, I am hoping that it comes back. I know that some people, so this morning, because it's Sunday the 19th, some people have TikTok again. I don't know if they're joking about that or what's not. I tried to go on another app that's associated with TikTok that I actually use often, which is CapCut. Apparently, CapCut is owned by the exact same company, ByteDance, and CapCut is down. Like, as of right now, I'm going to try to open up the app again.
Oh, no.
Yeah, CapCut is gone.
Wait a minute. Hold on.
Yeah, Kenny, I'm so serious. Like, if you try to go on CapCut, it literally closes the entire application on your computer. It closes it on your mobile app. TikTok and CapCut are both, we use them.
I just got home from work, so I haven't had a chance to like edit anything yet. I guess my point is, before I left for work, I was using CapCut.
Yeah.
So now that I'm back, I haven't booted CapCut yet, but that's crazy if it's just not working.
Yeah, CapCut still does not work. I just tried to get on my phone. I closed the app and I tried to reopen it. This is really bad because, again, like we use CapCut to edit stuff, and I would like it to come back. Like I would like it to come back very fucking soon. So now that CapCut is tied to this whole TikTok thing, I just feel like this is really annoying. Like it now affects us, right? Like it affects us. Yeah. And I'm still one of those people who, even if it didn't affect, let's say I used like, I don't know, DaVinci, which is another form of editing software that people use. And so therefore CapCut being down doesn't affect me at all. I still wouldn't be like, oh man, well, I guess you people who edit on CapCut better learn how to use Adobe Premiere, or you better learn how to use DaVinci or whatever. Like that's still not fucking cool. But yeah, I'm a little tight that CapCut is gone. Like that is
Yeah, I didn't even know that was going to happen. I didn't realize that was going to happen at all.
Same. I had no idea. And I don't think that was widespread news when the whole TikTok shutdown thing was going around. I don't think that it was like widely known that CapCut was also going to go down. So this caught me by surprise last night when TikTok went away. I went on Twitter. I just typed in TikTok, and then a bunch of other people were saying, hey, has anyone tried CapCut? CapCut also is not working, and they're from the same company, so they're both just going at the same time. Yeah, so that's where we are. Really frustrating. I know, really frustrating shit right there.
Do we get a refund?
That's what I'm wondering, right? Like, do we get a refund? Like, what happens here? You know, such bullshit. But if you use TikTok, I want to know what you guys' thoughts are. Like, definitely leave some comments about this whole situation. I love Instagram. I'm on Instagram every day. I'm on Twitter every day. If one of those apps went dark permanently, like, it would definitely fucking suck for me. Like, obviously life goes on, I will find something else, but that's not the point. Like, it would just suck because I enjoy those apps. They're a great way for me to waste time, or a great way for me to get educated on what's going on in the world. Most of my news, I don't watch like CNN or Fox or ABC or NBC. I fucking I go on social media like a normal person in 2025, and I find out what's going on in the world from social media. That's just how the world works now. Like, my grandmother watched the news every night. I'm not doing that.
Hell no. Hell no. I'm not reading a newspaper.
No, not yet. Like, do they even still have newspapers? Like, who the fuck?
They do.
Yeah, no.
I'm not reading them.
I'm not doing that. I don't care for like physical magazines. I don't care for, except for aesthetic purposes, but like a physical magazine I don't need. Like, I love the days of Game Informer, but am I going to go out and buy a Game Informer? Like, no, I'm not. Because it's
I never bought a Game Informer to begin with. It just came with going to GameStop.
It did, yeah. It definitely did come with going to GameStop, and so did the strategy guys that went missing in GameStops when I would go. But I'm just not. I'm not a person that holds on to like the old world. It's like, oh man, we need to get back into reading books and all sort of stuff. Like, I read books on my iPad. You guys remember when I wanted to read the new Hunger Games book? I bought an iPad so that I could read the new Hunger Games book. And that iPad, it's actually right here. That iPad has not been turned on. This iPad has not been used really since I finished reading that last Hunger Games book that came out, the prequel.
I still want to get like a Kindle.
Yeah,
they're just cool. Like the one that our friend Medina had, where apparently the screen uses actual ink. Like the screen itself has like ink in the screen that like essentially draws the page.
That's broken.
Yeah, it looks, and so like when you turn pages for the manga, so for example, it doesn't have the highest refresh rate. Like if you try to like flick back and forth really fast, like it'll look glitchy because like it literally draws the image that you have. Like, I don't know, it's really fucking cool though. Medina was showing that to me and I was like, oh man, I kind of want that. And I don't think they're that expensive either. I think they're only like $100 or
I think that they're really cheap. And if you wait for like Prime Day or whenever, Amazon throughout the year, they'll do multiple sales. And if you wait for one of those time periods, you could definitely get it for probably like 40% off or something. So like $60, I imagine. But yeah, for reading manga, I also use my iPad. Because it's a pretty big ass screen. And if I'm just like in the living room and I just want to read some manga or whatever, then the iPad is the perfect choice for doing that. So I'm definitely here for that as well. Kindle, those types of things. But the point is, like, I'm not telling people to go like, oh, go read a book or go pick up a book or whatever, or go touch grass or whatnot. Like, if you're not a person that likes being outdoors, there's nothing wrong with that. You're not like forced to be outside. And it's funny because the people saying that are also online. Like, you're saying go outside and do all this stuff, but like, you're here too in the comment section telling people to go touch grass. You're inside in your fucking sweatpants and t-shirt like everybody else talking about some go touch grass. You're not even touching grass. Yeah.
Or you're just like at work on your phone like everybody else.
Yeah. So the whole concept is just stupid. If all social media died tomorrow, people would be distraught. You're just lucky that yours didn't go down. But that's how I feel about this whole thing. It just sucks. It fucking sucks. So
R.I.P.
I pretty much think that's all we really want to talk about in this episode. A pretty quick episode here. The Switch 2 came out. TikTok, CapCut, both gone right now. Hoping that they both come back. Some people are saying they have TikTok. CapCut's not showing up for me. Kenny, you let me know after this call if CapCut works for you. I doubt it will.
Yeah, I'll try booting it.
But if it doesn't, then tomorrow is the inauguration day. I don't know if literally on day one, Trump is going to do something that extends the life of TikTok/CapCut. I still do feel like this is all a stunt to look like a hero.
Yeah.
And if I have to eat my words, like 6 months from now, CapCut and TikTok are both just still gone. And it is what it is. It's one of those things like, well, I will come on this podcast and absolutely admit like, oh shit, I guess it was real. But as of right now, until this has been going for like a long ass time, I'm just not really buying into it. I think that this was like a weekend stunt right before the inauguration. There's a message that comes up when you try to go on their platform. Like if you try to go on TikTok or CapCut right now, it talks about the Trump administration helping to get it back online. Like it literally brings that up.
I want America to do well. So I hope everybody is correct. I hope Trump does, you know what I mean? Look, I'm not a hater. I hope Trump saves America. whatever that means.
Yeah, whatever that means.
I hope he does great things. If he fixes inflation and does all the things I was told he's going to do, cool. Do I think it's going to happen? No. But if it does, I'll listen, you won't hear me complain.
Exactly. Yeah. I am not one of those people who roots against like the country as a whole. I live here, so I would like things to go better and well for us. I don't have high hopes, so we're just going to have to wait and see what happens. But I'm not actively on social media telling people like, oh man, these next 4 years are going to be fucking awful. And, you know, you guys better get your passports ready to leave the country because it's about to be running to the ground. Like, I'm just not with that. So I'm just going to wait and see what happens. But the first rule of business, hopefully deal with some of this crippling inflation, the job market, things like that, things that actually are very important. You know, TikTok is also on the docket, but there are things that are more pressing to the average American, the everyday American, that I think are more important. I would also like some address to healthcare. I still think that the Luigi thing is not over. Like, there was clearly a lot of people who felt like that guy was a hero for doing that. And you have to realize that says something when a lot of people feel that way.
Yep.
So we'll see. We'll see how it goes in these first, what they always say, the first 100 days. Like the president always has their first 100 days. So I guess in like around April, May, it'll be the first 100 days, probably May. He's taking office January 20th. So every month is 30 days. 3 months is 90 days. So yeah, around almost like a little into the fourth month, we'll really get to see like at the end of April, beginning of May, what the first 100 days under Trump looks like again. I'm just hoping that it goes well. I'm hoping that, you know, we don't end up in World War III or whatever. That's how I'm carrying it. Anyway,
well, we'll see.
Why don't we give a shout out to the people on our Patreon? Hope you guys enjoyed this episode. We have Struggling at Table 400, Leon, Xavier, This Ain't God, This is Stanley Earl, Luigi Wick, Dom, Dragon Ruler of the Side Events, Gabe Marini, Ari Reynolds, First to Home, Hydro Pump, Vincenzo, Dallas Bailey, KJ, Chaos of the Side Events, Sarah Maria, Alex Ahern. It's my Silverman episode, and I need it now. Kyle Batelho, I'll let you suckle my teats. Sugal, Vicky Venomite, Elijah Barfall, Talix Deo, Volvita, Mega Monarch, Janitor 215, Joshua Carroll, Eric Chai, Brian Moore, Behind the Duel This Podcast with Ty and Justin, Mike and John. And then we have
Free Tim Bailey's Glazed Smooth Butt, Nah I'd Win, Frozen Go Dojo, B-Dog23, Hershey Bar, Phil and Poister, Romo Snyder of Team Hugh, Tyler Frasher, Daniel, Anderson, DeRoa, Chicken Toaster Strudel, Robert Light, Kazzy95, Clanger, Pavinci, Travis Lurs, Gores on My Lap. That's a throwback.
Gores on My Lap is crazy.
HT19, Gregory Calmaring, Limbiscuit Jigsaw, Mike and John, Blue Fluff, Kyle Crudeau, Froggo, Anthony Japal, Michael Zhang, Konjic, and Tyler.
So quick thing, the next podcast episode will very likely be on Dan to Dan. The first 6 episodes, Dan to Dan. We started watching this a couple months ago now. I watched episode 1 randomly, and I randomly enjoyed it as well. So I reached out to Kenny, and Kenny talked about it, and he said he also watched it, and he enjoyed it. The theme song's very catchy. It's very funny anime. It wasn't what I was expecting. I didn't expect much. I didn't know what I was going into. It's very comedic, though. And I'm not used to watching anime like this. It kind of has like almost a Golden Boy feel to it in a way, but then it also has like other shonen references because it definitely has like action, fighting, and high animation type stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I'm enjoying it. We're gonna do this. The first 6 episodes of Dan to Dan, whatever. We're gonna do that. The dub is out as well, so I'm watching it in dub. I started watching it in Japanese, but I'm watching it in dub now. So, and it's fine, you know, it's fine. It's not some like super serious anime. That's the thing. It's kind of like, it's not some super serious anime. So I don't think that the voice acting is something that I'm like going to go crazy about. But yeah, we will be covering that.
Yeah,
so
that's coming up.
If you want to be ahead of it, watch at least the first 6 episodes of that anime and you will be ready for our next podcast episode. But let us know what you think about TikTok and the Switch 2 and CapCut and all this other stuff. And we'll catch you in the next one. Before I forget, as I always say, do the things that make you happy. And if making you happy is you're on TikTok 5 hours or 7 hours a day, then fucking go out there and lobby for it. You know, do what you got to do. Let your voice be heard that you really want TikTok and CapCut back. I know one thing. If there's a forum where I could vote or something, as a person who uses CapCut a lot, I absolutely will be doing so because we do use it on this podcast. And it's going to be kind of a bummer to have to find something else in the meantime. But
yeah, that's going to suck.
Yeah, we'll catch you in the next one, though, guys. Peace.
Peace.